Welcome, Deviant Drivers, to another episode of A Drink with a Driver. As you can see below, well, you don't know who it is, but maybe you can guess. I don't know. We'll see. You can put it
They
below.
should be able to guess.
You should be able to guess. They ought to, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And so we will have a guest appearing with us, which we're going to introduce. Well, we'll just introduce him right now. So everybody say hi to Dirksy. Welcome, Dirksy.
Hey, thanks guys. Glad to finally be invited.
Yes.
Glad
Took
to
you
have
all long enough.
Yeah, right.
We're
Well, there's
slowly
there's
churning through our list. We're getting
Yeah.
through our
there's strict
volunteers.
parameters to meet qualifications for joining this fantastic podcast that lasts way too long about absolutely nothing.
No, I like to have it as a background music. I'm playing other games. I just listen to you guys. Just have it on the background. Because who can sit still for that long, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
right.
Floody listens to it on his way to work, which I kind of enjoy that. He's like, "Yeah, dude, when's the podcast coming out? Like, I don't have stuff to listen to on the way to work right now." All right. We'll crank some stuff out for you, Floody. So, well, Dirksy, welcome. Team Lexus. He's been around for what is this your third season? Right?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Usually I do better with some of this research and I already have it ready and prompted and ready to go. And yeah, here we are.
I appreciate that.
I got nothing.
Well,
Yeah, I think as Lexus and then Supra, I think, and then back to Lexus.
oh, this is your
That is
second go
true.
around with Lexus. Okay.
Yeah, actually
GT,
he was the one who recommended it to our team. Was
GT4 this time. So
was Dirksy. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Well, what's everybody drinking tonight?
I'll Dirksy. You have
I've
honors, sir.
got a Russell's Reserve 10-year.
Nice.
I don't even want to say what I'm drinking because I'm on the road 3 hours from home. Stopped at the local grocery store and picked up a Noda Brewing out of Charlotte Radio Haze IPA.
Here, I thought you were being all artsy with your background on your wall there.
Yeah, no, I'm not even at home. This is what we call in the industry a guest suite. So it's an apartment we turned into a hotel. And so I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment in the middle of Greensboro, North Carolina.
What
And
is
yes, the
that
wall looks
behind
better
you?
than
Is
mine.
it looks like a bunch of cables all twisted off of the TV that drop down out from behind of it.
Yeah, it's twice as tall as what you see in the screen. So I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, I got bougie art and bougie beer and I'm right at home apparently. So we're good.
All right, cool. Awesome. Awesome.
And what are you drinking?
What
Come
do you
on.
think?
Tell us.
What do you think?
Mm, I would say a Coors Light.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah, an original bastard.
All that money for the Fanatec, and you still buy a shit beer.
It's because he's broke. That's why.
Yeah, these aren't even liquor, they're just full of iced tea.
I would not put it past you at all to be that. So to introduce Dirksy again, because I just found all of it, he's been with us since December 17th, 2022. Hell yeah. Damn, it doesn't seem like that long, but I guess
crazy.
so. Right? But yeah, so GT4 now, you've raced Mazda Endurance. You've taken Sunday Cup for third place. GT3 World, you got third place last season. Played fantasy football with us, so like you're invested. And we like that. And
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, it's been good.
When I first got the game, I played it for a while, and I was like, there's gotta be more to it. And I think you'll remember the story, Jinkai. Like we were racing GT Sport and GT1 cars, and man, we were close the entire race. And I don't think there was a single incident the whole time. I was in probably like the 787, maybe It
And we
had to have
both
been
were.
the 77. Yeah. And,
Yep.
good, clean racing. And then, you slid into my DMs and said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you want to join? You want to join my little club?
Yeah, Dirksey, and you beat me that race too.
I sure did.
I,
Probably
I
the last
couldn't let
time.
it go, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring this guy in here. And my sole mission is to get one win over him. So, but no, I mean, it was exactly that. And that's why we've talked about it in Discord a couple times, is if you find a clean driver in
Mhm.
sport mode, they want the same thing that we want. So when Dirksey and I were racing, it was exactly that. As soon as we got out of the lobby, I hit him up like, yo, you're clean. Nice job. Fuck you on the win. Excuse me. You want to race? So, and here we are. So, and I know there's a few that we've kind of poached that way as well. So it does work.
Yep,
It does.
absolutely.
But yeah, 2022. I wouldn't have guessed it. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess so. So, yeah.
We've been at
Well,
this league thing for a while, haven't we? I mean, sometimes we look back and we don't remember, just how far it's come. I mean, from what started with literally a handful of people. And
And pen and
basically
paper.
the only reason we had the Discord was so that we had a medium of which to be able to put rule sheets out for the next race without emailing or texting each
Mhm.
other. That was
Yeah.
where it started. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
come a long way. So
No,
No,
it
I
was
think
good stuff.
I'm pretty sure I had like maybe joined another one, or maybe I'd seen it on Reddit, but there was like all this fallout and drama, and like the club had just like fractured, and I was like, nah, I don't want that.
I mean, we've said it before. We came out of exactly that.
Maybe that was the club. I don't know.
Yeah, it was horrible. It fell apart so quick. Um, so many guys were just like, screw this, I'm done. And then yeah, they had some weird rules. Like every team had a reserve driver. It didn't have just a pool of reserve drivers. So I mean, I was a reserve for a while and I didn't race like 4 weeks straight. And it's like, all right, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm not even
Hmm.
a part of anything. And then if you didn't maintain a full team for 2 weeks, you got kicked. And that I was the team captain on their squad. And when all that chaos happened, all these drivers dropped, and then I didn't have a full team for 2 weeks, so they kicked me, and I went off. I went off, but I'm still a part of it. I poach stuff all the time. That's all good. So before we get into GT3 and GT4, we're going to kind of go through our normal little interview questions of get to know Dirksey. But before we get into that, before we get into the real questions, I got one real question for you that I didn't prep you for, and that is, what the hell, and describe it in the best way possible, is Skyline Chili?
Skyline chili is a wonderful bed of spaghetti pasta. It's kind of like the traditional way to have it. So you picture just a bed of spaghetti, a meat sauce, and then a shit ton of shredded cheese on top.
Yeah.
And
Is it
then
really a meat sauce, or is it more of a chili?
I would go with a meat sauce.
Yeah.
It's once you heat it up, it thins out pretty good. So you go to the restaurant and they'll ask you, would you like a bib? You're like, most grown men are like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Always get the bib.
Okay, noted.
Well, they'll tie it around your neck for you. That's fine because
Yeah.
you're slurping that scallion chili with the cheddar cheese and the chili and the pasta, and it just gets everywhere. You can get it. That's like the basic, what they call a three-way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Three-way. You can get with the four-way, which would be either all those things plus beans or onion,
Okay.
or you can get a five-way, which is beans and onion. I like a good four-way.
All right.
Yep, I'm a
Bloody and
big fan.
Anatole are like biting their tongue right now.
Yep, I go with the cheese, the chili, the pasta, and the onion.
Okay, but see, you just said chili. You said meat sauce a little, just a couple
It
seconds
is well, it's Skyline chili, so
ago.
you
Okay,
gotta call it chili.
all right.
It's very thin. If you go in understanding that you're not going in and getting a bowl of chili,
Yeah.
then you'll be fine.
Okay.
Most people, it does taste different. The
Can only
key
imagine.
ingredient is the key ingredient's like cinnamon, so it's a little sweeter.
Okay.
But it's it's just you put a little hot sauce on it and mix it around and it's good to go. And then you can also get it on the chili cheese conies.
Okay.
So
With the
little
pasta?
no pasta.
Okay.
So
All right.
bun, little short little coney,
Okay.
and chili cheese. But the key, it's a secret. You go inverted. No, not like vertical inverted. You go bun, cheese, chili, hot dog
All right.
instead of like hot dog, chili, cheese.
Do you order
So
it
then
that way? You do you
yeah,
say
yeah,
like
yeah,
I want
yeah.
a
Like,
chili
hey,
cheese
I want
cone,
two
inverted
chili.
chili cheese cone.
Yep. And they'll do the cheese gets all super melty underneath because of the chili and the hot dog, and it's cleaner to eat.
So you want an inverted four-way?
You're confusing your meals there.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you can
So
either
the
have
the four ways with the pasta.
I mean,
Okay.
inverted's probably the way to go with a four.
Invert is with your wieners.
Oh, okay. So with the Skyline chili, what is the utensil strategy?
You do the fork for the pasta, and then you just eat the conies like you would a normal coney.
Okay.
You
So
could
just
do it.
one
I mean,
fork. I'd say like I think bib, a bed of pasta,
Yep.
and I think two forks.
or a
I
pasta
mean, you
stone.
could. You just spin it around in there, and because
Yeah. So
it's so thin.
yeah.
That's why you need the bib because it just splatters everywhere.
I'm a spoon guy. Like I
It's-
got a spoon in one hand.
You could do that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
the Italian in him. He's gonna go in there. He's be like, "Hey man, I need one of
First off-
one of those threesomes that you got. You know, yeah. Give me a threesome."
It was a Greek family in Cincinnati that kind of started the whole Skyline chili thing. So
Is it really?
it kind of took
I-
off from there.
I did not know a Greek made that. It makes sense.
I think if you don't think of it as chili, it goes down a little easier.
Oh,
We
because
know a
it's thin.
Greek. We
So-
can only imagine he would make it.
Dude, he hasn't made shit. We brought
He
that
was-
up just this past weekend. Matter of fact, we asked his girlfriend what her favorite meal was that he cooked, and she just laughed. So, yeah, he doesn't watch our podcast. He just puts it on and helps us out with views. So if our ratings drop, it's because he heard this comment and has bailed on us altogether. So it's all good. But well, we appreciate the color commentary when it comes to the Skyline chili. I know all of us were very interested in how that approach would be. I've never touched it nor seen it except for photos. I've heard about it. Again, my heritage would not allow me to eat that, just because it's against my religion altogether. But I'm sure it sounds delightful. I think I would go a 5-way, but
Go for the beans, man.
yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with it. So now that we got that out of the way, because everyone was definitely curious about that, let's get into the meat of the conversation, or the chili of our conversation. So tell us about your rig. What do you use, race to race, and how long did it take you to get your rig to where it is today?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been playing Gran Turismo since the first one came out. Like one of the core memories is literally like at the game store, like looking at the back of Gran Turismo 1 and like, oh my God, this is the coolest game ever. And I had every Gran Turismo game except for Sport. because I never got a GT, I never got a PlayStation 4. I never played Sport. That was the only one I skipped. Just because I think it was probably GT6 or maybe GT5. Played some of the online, and it just, it's kind of like Sport right now, like dirty racing. It wasn't enjoyable. So I was like, oh, why would I want a game that's solely online racing? So I got the PS5. Started on controller and said, I'm a grown ass man. I can afford things now.
Right.
And so I got the Logitech as kind of a first starter set.
The starter set. You just limped in on Fanatec.
No, Logitech.
Oh, Logitech. Sorry, I
Logitech.
misheard
Yeah.
you.
So I got the Logitech, swinging around here. And then I got the Next Level Racing chair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Yep.
And then playing it on a 55-inch right in front of me. It was a good way to start. Going to the wheel was, it's just, I'm living my best 14-year-old self right now.
Hell yeah.
Like, I want to get the Fanatec. I got a lot of hobbies.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can justify spending that kind of money on like golf and shooting. I don't know if it's just a mind thing, but yeah, I'm having a hard time just like pulling the trigger on the Fanatec.
Yeah. It's once you get to that point, you won't regret it. I don't think you need to dive in as much as Mercury has, but
needs to do that.
there are more affordable ways, but I have been very pleased with my cost conscious Fanatec assembly.
Yeah, I think probably in the next year I'll be running the Fanatec.
Good.
Well,
Good.
with the new Fanatec, they came out with the new DD Plus, and so there are going to be some DD Pros, I'm sure, popping up significantly on eBay. There'll be some deals out there over the next year as people start making the changeover. So keep your eye out. This goes for all of you guys in league or really anybody watching. It'll come, it'll cycle through as the year goes. So if you're looking for one, find a good one. And they'll be out there on eBay all over the place as people upgrade.
I
So
mean, you'll post like 3 of them, right? So just let us know.
I always keep an eye out. So if I see something,
Right.
I definitely post it for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you the biggest concern has just been the torque on the Fanatec. I blame, I think it was a Sunday Cup, like I think it was last winter. That Sunday Cup, we did a rally event,
Yep.
and I blame that for screwing up my wrist.
Yep.
Like I didn't golf all last year. I had trouble racing. I race with a brace on right now. So I've been a little leery of like, okay, I don't know if I need the Fanatec quite yet.
The Fanatec torque it can be tremendous depending on your settings. I actually upped mine for this last race. I don't know why I did that, but it doesn't vibrate as much as the Logitech though. Like the Logitech, you get in certain situations and it just freaking vibrates like crazy. Fanatec doesn't do that at all. You'll feel that in rumbles and stuff like that, but short of that, I mean, it's pretty smooth, and the tolerance from lower to higher is actually pretty far. So
The shock value, what
Yeah.
I'll say is what can get you with any direct drive system, especially as you start moving in 8, 10, 12, Newton meters and that type of thing. And the people that like to go out and just wreck and all that, those people you want to stay away from with the direct drive system, because when seriously, that sometimes there's times you just need to let go of the wheel and let it do its thing, because if you try to hold on to it, they are known to be able to snap wrists and thumbs, and if you get
that's why
caught in
there's a disclaimer now.
yeah, there is.
That's
There
what it
is.
is. So you mentioned other hobbies. So outside of this Discord and Deviant and all that, what are your go-to hobbies?
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow morning at like 6, 7 a.m. Going to northern Alabama for a week of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took the year off last year from my fishing hobby. Getting back into that. I do a lot of golf normally. Dayton, Ohio, wonderful golf place.
Really?
There are so many courses around here,
Maybe we
and
talk
you can
that up
golf
because
pretty much year round.
yeah, we've never talked anywhere up north. Like every time we talk about doing our golf trip, our guys trip, it's southeast,
Mhm.
Florida, Georgia. We did Hilton Head last time, but we
I mean,
never
it's
considered
yeah,
anything like
it's
that.
you're in Ohio, so you're not getting the ocean, but
Yeah.
there's just a lot of variety. There's a ton of courses here, and you're able to golf pretty much year round, which is kind of rare for being in a northern tier
Mm-hmm.
state. So
And then
it's
shooting as well, right? Skeet shooting, was that
I
right?
do a lot of trap shooting.
Trap shooting?
So
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of been my big hobby of late. So like it sucks because on the GT4 schedule now, I get out too late. Usually on the GT3 race, I get done with the race, log off, go shower because I sweat like a mule during the race, and then I go shoot. I can't do that now on Sundays because I'm trash. But yeah, I'm usually shooting 3-4 days a week.
Nice. What firearm?
Right now I have a Remington 3200, so it's an
Okay.
older shotgun. A good I like old quality firearms.
Yeah. Is it an over under pump?
It's an over under.
Okay.
And then my other one's a Remington 31, which is man, it's almost 90 years old at this point.
Nice.
So
That is cool. We're cut from similar cloths, my friend. All three of us on here have some hobbies and related interests as you. So we dabble in the shooting, we dabble in the fishing. We're all about that stuff. And like you said,
yeah.
it's living your child memories and aspirations as an adult.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be hunting more if Ohio was better on like the waterfowl,
Yeah.
but not a lot of ducks around here.
Yeah. Come on down, man. As you're driving through our state, actually, I don't even know if you'll come through our state on the way down to Alabama. You may.
I'm going through Nashville and straight
Oh, yeah.
down
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. All
geography.
right. So past all that, what are you driving in real life?
Toyota 4Runner.
Okay. What year?
So it's 2016.
Okay.
So right now it's got the kayak loaded up on it for the fishing trip. I got about half a dozen reels hanging from the ceiling.
Manly shit.
Yeah. I've never actually owned a car.
Okay.
Everything's been a four-wheel drive SUV or a pickup.
All right.
I've never never owned a car, never gone truly fast on anything in real life.
Interesting. What's been the favorite car that you've owned out of all of
Um, I gotta say my 92 4Runner was a lot of fun just because it was comfortable. My Tundra when I had a boat was nice just because of the big V8.
them? Yeah.
So you've
So
pretty
And that
much
obviously,
old
driven a lot of Toyotas, it sounds like.
clearly.
Yeah,
Clearly.
pretty much everything except for my first car was a 94 Chevy S10 Blazer.
No.
And then everything since then has been Toyota, actually.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm, if I'm toying around with another car, I was like, man, like a Supra would be kind of cool. Hell, even the new GR Corolla is pretty awesome.
Yeah, those aren't too badly priced either. Those little they're GR what do they call them? GR86s, I think, right? The GR.
Those are like the Subaru knockoff,
right.
the
Yeah.
BRZ knockoff. The Corolla is like the 3-cylinder little hatchback.
Okay. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
They're sporty. I see a couple of them at work, and they're kind of sporty looking in real life.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to those. All right,
That's
so
they got it in the game. You can get one.
I don't think I've driven it in the game either. Unless I've been forced to, but I don't remember.
Maybe we'll make that a Sunday Cup thing for an upcoming season, maybe.
That'll be the
There you
next
go.
Mazda League. We'll just do the Corolla.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
there you
clearly,
go.
yeah, exactly. They're clearly taking recommendations, I think. So
I don't think that was one of them though. So, but I mean, we own the league, so we'll just force it on him. It's fine.
Yeah,
Dustin's
just-
like, son of a bitch.
that's what it's gonna be.
Or he's not, yeah, he's saying something in Spanish. but-
Puta madre.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so last question, obviously, always my favorite. Without consequence, out of either league, since you've been in both leagues, who would you punt off the track if you had no consequences whatsoever, no penalties, no nothing? Who would you want to punt the shit out of?
Is it possible to hit two people at the same time? Like maybe like a big multi-car wreck?
All right, so you're like, okay, I can see that. You know,
I
he's
mean,
calling a bank shot in billiards right
yeah.
now. I'm gonna knock that
It'd
eight ball
be
off the
A
7
turn
ball.
one combo. We're just going right through turn one.
it'd be Zen and DeBesso. I mean, no question.
I can respect that. That's awesome. And then you just flee the scene, and both of them are just sitting there, just like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, they're just going at each other. You just get them started and let them go at each other.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Good answer. I like that one. Well done, sir. So, well, Dirksy, pleasure to meet you in person for finally since 2022.
Yeah.
It's been fun. You've been a part of a lot of our leagues, and we appreciate you for that. So thank you.
Yes. So moving on to our typical what we talk about. And guys, I guess we got a lot to talk about. So let's start with GT3 like as is normal. And pretty sure I know where this direction of this conversation is going to go. So so GT3 at Deep Forest was I guess it was interesting. So, Junkai, go ahead and lead us off. I guess you probably look like you have a comment to make or something.
I got nothing to say, man. It was I will say it was a better race than last one. I will say a lot of our drivers were a lot more cordial and they were clean. And yeah, I think overall the race went fairly well. I think that's all I got.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd the race go? What was your tire
Short.
strategy?
It was short. It was short. Tire strategy? I don't think tire strat. Well, actually, the strategy wasn't my problem. The problem is it ain't got no gas in it. And so I know everybody's probably tuning in and they're like, what in the hell? So I went back and I was trying to figure out, I was like, how the hell did this happen? But I had to rewatch. And what is I was rewatching the podcast and my own perspective actually, which is weird. And so as I had a penalty, as well, you may not have seen, but might have seen. And I moved. Boost was my teammate behind me, so I consciously made a move to get down to the inside to get out of his way. Didn't really want to let. I think it was Besso behind him. I didn't really want to let Besso by, but because they were so close, I didn't really have a choice. So the biggest thing I wanted to do was get back in line, and I was like, okay. And as I went through that final little hairpin thing at the top of the hill, the last big turn, there was a conversation going on, and I thought I heard my name. I didn't know if I did or not. I don't know if anybody even said my name. I'm not sure. And I started kind of like drifting off and thinking, I was like, what did they say? Did they say my name? I was like, what did they want? Did I do something? And I'm just driving. I'm just floored the gas. I'm just shifting gears and driving. I was like, I was supposed to do something. And I was driving by the pits. I was like, I was supposed to go in there. And I was like, I didn't. And I was like, I know I don't have enough gas. And the little thing popped up. It was like 0.2 or something in the tank. And I was like, uh-oh, that's bad. That's real bad. I didn't even get to start finish line. And I was like, oh, God. Okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah,
So
we were sitting in doing the practice laps, and yeah, I got a little. It's for my shifter, but it holds my phone nice, and so we're watching it. And I was like, all right, looking at your fuels, like, oh, he's got about 3 laps left, and like 2 laps left. All right, he's gonna pit after this one. Oh, he got a penalty. Like, he's gonna go into pits. He's not gonna really lose much because of that penalty. And then we just saw you go by, and we're like, well, the whole group was like, what the hell just happened?
bold move, Cotton.
I was actually saying the same thing. Yep. So and then I decided after I went down basically half a lap or so, I was like, I said, well, I'm just going to bail out. There's no recovering from it. I'm going to be last. So I'll just at least give everybody that's watching a little bit of a better perspective on the race. And at least I can contribute that to it. So, so that's what I did. I just threw it out. I didn't rage quit. I was pissed. I'm not gonna lie, but I just figured I was like, I'm better suited at this point than it to just televising for the guys, because I knew GT4 was watching, so I knew you guys wanted to see it. So
it's been an interesting season.
interesting is one way to put it.
We've
Worst
had a
ever is
couple of
another way.
milestones that we've never achieved before, between Anatole starting in reverse last week or 2 weeks ago, and now you with your.
It's funny because within our team, we were talking about that just today, and we were like, and we'll get to the leaderboards here in just a second when we talk about them. But I said, you know, Team AMG's not doing too terribly bad, all things considered, as a team. Considering I can't figure out how to keep gas in the car, and Anatole can't figure out how to find first gear and forward.
I
And
freaking forgot you guys are on the same team.
yeah, I was like, you know, how has all this misfortune come on AMG, and how in the hell are we still where we're at in the rankings? It's like we're doing good enough to stay in it, but it's like all these things have befallen us. Like, it's like if you lined up all the stuff, the bad things that could happen, it's just all of it.
I have a request from Glovis. I need a Shriners livery for you guys, and you got to run it at least once. The clown car Shriners, you know. Come on, Glovis, come through for us. Yeah, that was rough, man. I didn't catch it during the conversation. I heard Besso say it, or someone called it out first. Maybe it was Zen. It was like, dude, are you out of gas again? And it was just a grumble of, yeah. And then Besso said something, and I just kept on. I mean, there's no hate. Like, I don't mind hazing you. I've known you long enough, but at some point, like, it just hurts me. I'm not gonna stoop down to that level, because I know, like, you're killing yourself inside. So yeah, I was just gonna leave that alone today. But you know, I'm glad everyone knows now what happened.
It took me a while. It took me actually, it took me pretty much, I was steaming over it all day. So like last night I was like, I got to figure out what the hell happened. I was like, I went back, I was like, the only way I'm gonna remember is if I just rewatch it. And it was torturous to watch again too. So so that's what happened. But let's move on to brighter news for other people, and that is the leaderboard. So okay, well, once again, this has been a 4 for 4. Junkai, congratulations. You have won.
4 for 4 on fastest lap, not wins.
Fastest
It's
lap.
only the second win out of 4. That's all.
You're yes, well, you're 4 for 4 fastest lap, and you're in first.
And I need to split that point with Nismo, because I would not have had it without him. So really, it should be 20.5.
What did Nismo do?
I was in a slipstream. There was no way I was going to be able to get that time on my own.
Oh, okay.
I dedicated 1 lap to fastest lap, and made sure it was set up properly. and I got proper slipstreams at every exit and stayed on his butt.
Here's something else.
I
So
mean, it worked.
first place in points in GT3 is Junkai with 58 and 4 fastest laps out of 4 races. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Second is Nismo with 37 points. And third is Floody, straight out of GT4 with 31 points.
Yeah, with Tex missing this week, it kind of opened it up for Floody to kind of move up a little bit. He moved up 5 positions.
Yeah,
from where he was last week.
interestingly, they are tied in points. Tex and Floody are tied. Floody does take the actual third place because of not missing a race. So the fact that he's participated in all 4 events versus the 3 is what puts him currently.
Well, man, it's total points, but yeah, same thing.
Yes. So 31 points. So technically on the leaderboard, Tex is sharing third position with Floody points wise. If that's the proper way to say that, maybe. I don't know. Just look at the screen. They both got 31 points. There you go. They can see that.
That's we've spent way too much time.
So what's Floody's secret? He's turned it up this season. Is he drinking more, drinking less during the race? Like,
I mean, he popped one before the beginning of this race. We heard him pop it. It really, if you remember when Floody first got into the league, he wasn't very devoted to it at all. You didn't know if he was going to show up or not. Sometimes he would show up with 1 minute left to get into. He would miss qualifications, slurring all over the place. But then he got this little itch after he did decent a couple different times. He's been on some winning teams with mine and Zen. He's won team categories. But then I think really it was just last season that he saw that he was able to compete well, and he did. And he got that itch. And then, there's that little inner circle of the guys that do the time trials and circuit experiences, and like that's his thing, like that's his niche. So I think just the amount of seat time he's putting into it is really giving him the advantage to kind of start moving up through the ranks. Now before that though, like he hasn't been on podium yet. This is his first podium in GT3 ever. So, but that's where the points help tremendously regardless, because before that he's got 8, 8, and 6. So he had some, middle of the pack showings, but all it takes is a couple podiums. And that, like from last season, you're on podiums a couple times or just right below, but it was enough to keep you at the end of the season, 3rd place overall,
Yeah, I think he's shown that the practice that he's putting in is paying off in consistency, because I think, a season or 2 ago, like he's knocking out golds in all these trials, and I'm like, how is he not just dominating?
And well, so here's the same thing, and Glovis is living the other part of that, in that he does well with qualifying, but on the flip side, sometimes struggles during the race. So you can be fast out there by yourself, but when you got to race with 13 other cars, it's completely different. But I will say this about Floody: he's not too shy or proud to ask questions. Like, he's always reached out for assistance, whether it's like, hey, can you watch this video? Or what am I doing wrong here? Or how did you do this? Or strategy wise, like he's always asking questions. So, some guys are prideful and they're like, oh, I can do this on my own. He asks questions, So, and he listens. That's the best part, is he doesn't get offended by, dude, you're doing that completely wrong. He listens and then adapts. So
it's paying off.
Yep. No, it definitely is. So, but yeah, he had his first podium. So to wrap it up, Floody took 2nd, which is phenomenal. Nismo took 3rd, and I think that's his first 2nd podium of the season. Boost Team AMG in fourth. Besso fifth. K2 made his first race overall, finishing, took sixth place. Zen in seventh. Chaotic in eighth. Glevis ninth. The Audi boys, Berman, Bad Rock, 10, 11. And we got our dear friend Merck, in 12th. And we didn't have the Genesis guys. Cowhow and Tex had to miss for some reason. So it opened the window for a couple others, but nonetheless, they earned it. So good on them. But so, Merck, what was your strategy going into it? What was your strategy?
3 softs, triple soft, soft.
Okay, that was
We
ours
did.
too.
We as a safety car, where it turned out, we were just going to ignore the safety car.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was slap dab in the middle. You just
Yep.
take it on each end of it. Well,
Yep.
centered. And yeah, chop it into 3 basic runs. Simple. So yeah, it was everything was working out great. I mean, the fuel was down perfect. I mean, when I passed the pits, I was at 0.2. So it was accurate. Yeah. I didn't even have enough really to get to start finish line. So it was calculated properly.
Yeah.
Execution was poor. Planning was perfect.
Yeah. Well, and so where did you qualify? Because I don't remember. You qualified pretty far back too.
Yeah. I haven't had good qualifications. But I mean,
And then you worked your way up to the front.
Yeah.
You were after safety car. It was
I was second
me,
on restart.
Yeah, it was me, you, and then Boos.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like,
AMG had
screwed.
second and third.
Yeah, I was like, I'm screwed because they're going to team up.
That was our plan. It didn't work out, but
yeah, that sucks, man. So, well, what are you gonna do?
we're gonna come back next week to Grand Valley. I mean, fortunately for us, is we're only halfway through. This is the longest GT 3 and 4 season we've ever done. There's
I think we need a drink every time you say that because you say it every podcast. So cheers.
yeah, well, cheers. So yeah, and so we're only halfway through. So as long as it seems that this season has been, especially as long as it feels for me, we're only halfway there. So there's still plenty of time to recover.
So you nervous about that relegation line at all, or you confident you're gonna be all right?
No, I'm pretty confident I'll be fine.
Alright.
You know, I know that Audi has a tough time this year, and they have a tough time with that car, and so I'm just counting on.
Yeah, so Bad Rock is Zanshin sitting right below it. K2 just because he's late to the season. But yeah. Yeah. Dirksy, what do you think of the relegation promotion line? Like it, love it, hate it?
Love it. I'm a
Yeah.
big Ted Lasso fan, so
Okay.
you know, when I learned about how English soccer worked, I was like,
Yep.
oh, that'd be really cool if how our sports worked. I wish you would have instituted a little, maybe a season ago.
We did. I will say this: we did talk about it for last season. By the time we talked about it, it would not have given everyone enough opportunity to kind of get out of relegation.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. So,
Like,
but here we are.
yeah,
It is what it is. So,
it's just it was a surprise going from third overall down to
we
Yeah.
were all shocked by that. I will
I'm not
say
a good qualifier.
Yeah. We were all shocked by that, and we'll talk about that in a moment too, as far as your qualifying skills. But again, I mean, it qualifying is great, but you got to be able to race. That's the
Mhm.
difference. Can you manipulate the car and get off the driving line and still get fast times? Because that's what racing is about, not putting hot laps together. So, I was going somewhere with that and just kick the bucket on it altogether. So, well, let's talk.
Relegation.
Yeah, relegation, promotion. We'll see how it ends up. But this will be our first season. So
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna kind of open up some interesting competition across the two
Mhm.
classes for sure. I mean, we're
It
seeing
will.
it with Floody right now. I mean, he goes from being in the GT4 to being promoted, because you made an exception for one person in the league. And then he's third overall right now. Like that's incredible. And I think we're gonna see some cool stuff over here in the next couple years or a couple seasons.
Yeah, for sure. So GT4 is appears to be pretty competitive. Like you feel like someone's running away with it, and then they get chopped down, and someone else takes the lead. So coming from GT3 to GT4, just tell us your overall feelings about being in that league, being with different drivers that you've really never driven with before, and how's it all, settling, dude? The differences between the two leagues.
As much like shit as I talk about being in the GT4 league because of my crappy qualifying time. I'm loving it, and I told my team last season like I'm kind of jealous of the GT4 because it's a good change.
Mhm.
It's something different, when Jar and I were practicing before the race this weekend, my break points and my normal time, on Deep Forest, like completely different on the GT4 car. Like I know exactly how I can take that track on a GT3 car. And then going in the GT4, like it's 100% different. Like I
Mhm.
can't take the S's at the beginning full speed pretty much. So it's been a good challenge, and I'm really having a good time. And the competition between Cam and Preston uh, has been phenomenal. Like we're constantly battling.
Yeah, and let's talk about the leaderboard because it could not be any closer. To be honest, the top three there, and as we're looking at it, literally the top three are within 1 point of each other. Cam is setting at first with 51 points. Tied for first is Preston, also with 51 points. And then Dirksey, you're third with 50 points. So
It's nuts.
it's nuts that it is that close. It's 1 point after 4 races that separate it. And Cam has all 4 fastest laps, which garners him 4 points, which so that 1 point for fastest laps is so significant at the end of the day, or it could be, and in this case it is, but you're halfway through, you're lagging first place by 1 point. And so tell us, we got Grand Valley coming up next. Are you excited? Nervous? What's the feeling with Grand Valley?
Yeah, I think with Grand Valley, it's a newer track to GT7. For anybody that's played the game for a long time, we remember the old Grand Valleys, and it just doesn't feel the same. So I feel like I'm learning a whole new track, and every time I race it, it feels foreign. So
I agree 100%.
I'll definitely have to put a lot of practice in on that one. The other ones, Deep Forest, Daytona, Nürburgring, like I've put a lot of time on those tracks. I felt comfortable. But Grand Valley, I think that's probably going to be my least comfortable track.
I agree with that. This is the one I know the least.
It's the one I think everybody. I mean, it's one of the original tracks, but like Dirksey said, I agree 100%. It can be the exact same traced layout, but the ambiance of it means that you can't really draw any kind of experience from those past games, even years ago. That familiarity, because that everything is surrounding is so different. It's got a different
Yeah.
feel and is all different track. It's not one of my
Yeah.
favorites, but it is what it is.
Well, we're gonna rock it out, so we'll see how it goes. But
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You got the one high speed straight, and it's going to be a lot of tight curves. So it's gonna be a definitely a race of skill for sure. I mean, the good thing is if you go off track, you're not going far.
That
Other
is
than
true.
that, like it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So coming back to this last race with Deep Forest, um, to watch the highlights tonight just to kind of refresh my memory on what happened. There was some fun going on in GT4. You, like you said, struggle with qualifying sometimes. So you qualified 8, finished second. Again, a nice move up through the pack with proper passing and pit strategy. So first off, what was the strategy? I mean, obviously being in the private chat with you, I saw multiple different ones, and then you guys just kind of settled on one. So tell everyone what your strategy was.
Really, hadn't had a chance to practice much throughout the week. I've been prepping for my fishing trip, shooting, trying to get my wrist. I gotta go kayaking next week, so I've been trying to get my wrist a
Just
little
get a
break.
trolling motor on there. You'll be fine.
That's on order. It's so I hadn't practiced a ton, and so Saturday or Sunday morning was kind of like my first time really going at it. So I got up a little early. It got on. Um, I was running for a while. Jar got on. And I was running. I think I hit a 1:33.8 as my fastest lap, and I was running consistent in like 1:34s, and the wind wasn't very strong either way. I was like, all right, wind's not playing much of a factor. Like I can run 1:34s all day. Um, got into qualifying and I'm running like 1:35. I'm struggling to even get like mid 1:35s. Uh, if maybe I was just being too conservative. I know if during the race I was probably being a little conservative, probably not taking it as all out as I could have, just because I was nervous of potentially wrecking.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was not a good qualifier.
Well, I mean, qualifying does help, but again, you got 60 minutes to work your way to the front, and you've done so many weeks with us. I mean, consistently. I mean, you won Daytona, and then you've taken second place every single race since then. So, regardless of your qualifying, your driving skills uh, are obviously evident, and
Yeah,
If you
working your
I
way to the
thought,
front.
I thought when you guys were talking about going to softs in GT3, I was like, well, maybe I can do that. And so I realized that in practice, like the front right goes super quick. That's one thing I noticed, Merc, watching your feed. Your back right actually went pretty quick as well, which I was surprised to see on the GT3 because our backs hardly, maybe a quarter, maybe half by the time the front right was down. So I thought maybe I could run softs the whole time, and as I saw what happened, I was like, I gotta go mediums at some point, and so I think I went soft, medium possibly. I'm not even sure what I did. I just kind of made it up on the fly. I've been in a few groups now and a few teams where we do the spreadsheets, and it seems like it just changes, and I end up going against what the spreadsheet says, and it works out.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you, your finishing position. I know you say you're not a strong qualifier, and I get it. I'm not a strong qualifier either. It's not my thing. I don't do good with it. But your finishing consistency is probably one of the best because it's 1-2-2-2. And although Preston has more wins, you have more consistency of that second place, and Camzilla has fastest lap. So the points are so close because of the consistency that you've had. I mean, I mean, this is going to be interesting. So you guys are going to battle it out, and we're on the promotion line that it's all going to settle out. So we're all watching closely to see how that wraps up.
Yeah, I'm excited. The last, I mean, besides Daytona, I was like, the front wheel drive cars can't keep up with us. There's just no way. They're gonna burn through their front tires and they're gonna be hosed. And here comes Camzilla, and he's just crushing it in that Volkswagen. And it's I don't know how he's doing it. Like I know for Daytona and I think Nürburgring, we were competing for fastest lap, and I was like, I got it, got it. And he just comes out of nowhere on like the last maybe 3, 4 laps and just steals the fastest lap every time. For Deep Forest, I never had a chance.
Yeah, he's definitely showing us what the front wheel drive car can do. And he's getting that tire wear like you're talking about though. Like it's killing the front tires, but you know, the good thing about that front wheel, you just point the car and it goes.
Yeah.
Rear end's just going to follow it. So I mean, he's working it. That's all we can say, you know. So there was some highlights from your race. Again, you calling 8th, moving up to 2nd. You battled Anatole for a little bit through the first stint of the race. Started working your way up, hitting with Thrasher and everything like that. But there was a couple little things that kind of took place. Talk us through the one that happened, turn 1, where you almost got taken out.
So Golden Oracle, I gotta give him props. Like he was doing pretty well starting off the race. And he was tough to catch. Like there's been a few races this season where I'm like, I can get by him. He was real tough to catch, and I think I had gotten by him earlier before the start finish line, and Anatole was in front of me, and we're coming into to turn 1, and I can tell like he's got my draft. Like he is just sitting behind me, and I'm watching him just come up like a bullet, and like a bullet, he just splits Anatole and I on turn 1 and just straight off the track. I felt terrible. He was doing real well up until then, and he just rocketed right off the track because he might not have realized how much draft he had gotten on that straightaway.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way when I first started racing, because I haven't been doing this long really. Sport was my first, and I crushed Zen one race, got an earful, but then I also got a coaching of you got to be out of the slipstream to really use your brakes properly. And so nowadays, you know, if I'm coming into a braking zone behind somebody, I kind of peel out a little bit, catch a little bit of that wind resistance to help slow you down. But yeah, if you're not expecting it, but yeah, dude, he split you two, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm happy he didn't hit
Yeah,
us. Like it was clean. It was a clean mistake on his part. So it didn't hurt Anatole and I, which I'm
and
thankful
props
for.
to him, and Glovis posted too in the GT3. He had a very similar situation where he missed his breaking point, was going to crush Besso, and decided just to
Dump
take
it.
it off track. And I mean, he just gunned it, got out past the apex, didn't impact Besso at all, but pretty much sabotaged his race. But
Hmm.
again, I mean, it's instead of self-preservation, I mean, it's about the courteousness and not others being at fault of your mistake. So, you know, kudos to those guys that are really showing up and saying, you know, it's not about me, it's taking care of the others around you. So kudos to those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I think you see that in like the some of the laps where like especially when you're starting out, you see that a lot where people don't realize you're braking sooner than you would normally would,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because you don't wanna be that person to rear
Yeah.
end the group.
Yeah. Everyone that I've coached, and I don't want to say coach, but just talked about close racing, is you don't try to emulate the break point of the person in front of you. And you really don't even watch them going through the turn. You watch your apex, you watch your driving line. But I always lift a second before I even get to my braking zone if I'm behind somebody. I lift, and it just slows me down. I can have better control over the braking. And most oftentimes doing that, I have a better exit and I'm able to put myself in a better position. So
100%.
it helps. So everyone obviously has their different strategies and everything like that. I was surprised, and I don't know why. I haven't talked to anyone on Team Ford, but Preston had a very, very late pit. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was for sure I was gonna end up maybe third, fourth, and I saw the late pit, and I think they had a bad strategy there. I was kind of hoping Cam Zillow would pit as well, because I pitted before safety car, and I knew I could probably run easy through the rest of the race on mediums. Um, but yeah, I saw that pit, and I was like, man, something got screwed up. Like Preston's been on fire for this season, and so I'm not sure who his team captain was or who his main strategy person is for Team Ford, but maybe not the best strategy probably at that time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about teams. We haven't really talked about teams. Obviously, both of you guys are Team Lexus, so um Team Lexus is in the lead. Congratulations to you both. You've clearly, as we've been talking about all night, both have contributed significantly to your team and the results, and contributed a lot in the total of 142 points that you've put on the board for Team Lexus, which is quite a bit of a significant lead over second place, which is Team Ford at 111. So congratulations, you guys. You are definitely pulling out a long lead on the pack, and it's getting harder and harder for a team to close that gap at this point with that many points separating everybody. So well done.
We're fortunate. I will say that. I like I told you guys after the draft, when Dirksey landed in my spot to pick, I like looked at my list twice. I was like, is he still on the board? Yeah, obviously snagged him up. I knew what I was getting, again, knowing what he's capable of. So I was very appreciative of that and seeing what Jar could accomplish and Chaotica's strategies. I mean, we're clicking, and it's not the easiest of cars. I will say that. I know I've said that multiple times, but we're making it work. So
you're certainly making it work. And rounding out third is Team Volkswagen, as we've also mentioned tonight.
no one saw it coming for VW though.
No, we did not see it
At
coming.
all.
W.
And it's only 1 point.
It's only 1 point. Yeah. Yeah, it's only 1 point separating second. So so yes, so again, we still got some battles to sort out, and again, we're only halfway through. So
Right.
certainly
Cheers.
things are gonna change. Certainly things are gonna change on the individual leaderboard as well as the team's leaderboard. So but congratulations to Team Lexus. You've definitely earned your spot thus far in the season, both of you.
Well, it's only mid-season. Got a long way to go.
Yes, we only halfway there.
Cheers. Well, Dirksey, again, man, we appreciate you being on and being a part of the league as long as you have. Again, I kind of forgotten how long it has been. So kudos to you. I hope we're bringing everything to you to make it worthwhile, and hopefully many more.
I'm having a blast. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Before we go, real quick, Dirksey, one suggestion. What would you like to see? You could be a race. It could be anything that you want. What would be a suggestion?
Oh man, I got the relegation promotion lines. I'm trying to remember if I had put anything else in the league chat recently.
Was it you that put in the multi-class
The
recommendations?
multi-class. I'm trying to figure out. I'm a Ted Lasso fan, right?
It was a good show.
So maybe like a wild card option or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think how it would work. Because in English football, the top team gets promoted, and then like the top second and third team have to like actually kind of play each other off.
You realize that's what we're doing here, right?
I'm trying to figure out a way to like create some sort of like wild card, but I think it'd be fun to do like an all-stars end of the season race where we
Oh,
do
that's right. I remember you did recommend that.
like multi-class. Just
Yeah.
maybe it counts for something, maybe it doesn't. You know, if you're below the promotion line and somehow you beat a person that's in the promotion line, somehow maybe it counts for more. I don't know, but it could just be a fun race.
Yep.
Because
Definitely looking at
the
multi-class in some capacity, in some regard. Multi-class is something we definitely want to do, so we're definitely going to incorporate that at some point, somewhere within something. We just have to find where that fits properly and fits well within what we're structured. So
yeah, the holiday multi-class race that we did, that was
good.
a lot of fun.
That
It
was
was
fun.
a lot of fun. Yes. So, well, again, as Junkai said, Dirksy, thank you for joining us. It's been great having you. Good to see you, and glad you've been with this league and stuck with us for so many years. And I know we'll see you and Team Lexus on the tracks as we move forward through the other half of the season, because we are only halfway there. So
I'm gonna be freaking hammered at the end of this, man.
no, I'm doing it on purpose. So
Yeah.
thanks for joining us, guys, and thanks viewers for joining us. And we will see you next time on A Drink with a Driver. Good night, everybody.
Later.
Night.
I think
Yeah,
we're,
Big old jar of nuts you got there.
There you go.
what you got?
Lightly salted
Oh,
peanuts.
lightly salted.
Man, I tell you what, Burt Reynolds' mustache in Deliverance. Oof. It's just iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, we rolled too long.
We rolled too long.
I
Yeah.
know. I talked about my Trans Am,
Yeah, dude.
which is funny because last summer I was coming back from I think Indianapolis area, and then getting passed by Trans Ams, and then occasionally like one broke down on the side of the road.
We'll do it again. We shall do it again.
See you in another 2 years.
Who